Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for November 2nd. We're going to take a look at the US-Japanese yen pair. I'm expecting this pair to oscillate between 99.83 on the high side and on the low side 95.41. Now look for some resistance to come into this market around 99 and some support to come into the market at 97.50. So definitely need to keep an eye on that. If you notice, we didn't, from Thursday when we talked, we didn't break out of our inside bar. We had an inside bar created, and what we were looking for was a break of either the low or the high of the previous day. The market kind of oscillated back and forth, creating a doji bar to close Friday session. So we didn't get a break of that. We'll have to see what this session does, see if we can get another inside bar. If that's possible, then we could be looking at a situation where we're looking for a break above this high and above this low, which would be fantastic. Let's take a look at the Euro-USD pair. This pair I'm expecting to oscillate between 1.3005 and on the lower side 1.2554. Now look for some resistance around the 1.2900 mark. There we go. And some support around 126.74. Now this pair moved down. The bias, I believe, is to the downside. It's moving sideways for the most part. I mean, it did close down. We pushed real high, closed down. This bar kind of signaled a reversal. So I do anticipate us moving lower throughout this session and into this week. Now taking a look at the pound US dollar pair. Expecting this pair to move as high as 1.6671. I'm sorry, 1.6617 and 1.8451. Now look for some resistance to come into this market a little bit lower at 1.6225, and for support, look for support at 6,000. If we get a break below this level, we could see it move pretty quick to the downside. Basically, we would be, 80 pips or 85 pips from where we're at now, and we could see it just shoot lower. Of course, a break below this low is a real interest to us. That would definitely be key, but we have a lot of room between where we are now and this spot, so a lot of possible trades between now and then. Now let's take a look at the US Swiss. This pair has moved a lot during this last session. We had this move that occurred to the downside, and then this move to the upside. So it's covered a lot of ground pretty quick. I am expecting this pair to move on the very high side as high as 117.64, and on the very low side 112.80. Now this is a little bit wider than probably what it should be due to these high range or large range days. Do look for some resistance though around 11600 and some support around 11550 is what we're looking for in this particular pair. I believe this pair is moving sideways for the most part. The bias though is to the upside, so look overall for this pair to move higher. Now, I know typically that we look on the day time frame when we're looking at the charts. I did want to switch gears though and kind of show you something that I'm looking for, and this is more of a week play, a little bit longer time frame, but that could be a really good thing as far as the profits go. Now we have basically what we have is an inside day. We had last week's session. It did not break the high of the previous week. It did not break the low of the previous week. So that is of interest to us, because if we get a break of the high or the low, we're going to look. If it breaks the low, of course, we're going to look to go short. And if it breaks the high, we're going to look to go long. Now, what is interesting to me is we have the same situation last week or a couple of weeks ago. We have a bar that just drops down pretty strong, not as strong as this 2 weeks ago, but pretty strong. We pull back, have an inside day, it pulls up, then we get a break of that low. And if you look here, I'll try to show you the amount of pips here that we have. We have roughly 150 or 1,528 pip move there, which is pretty significant as far as that move goes. That's a pretty large move. I do realize we're on the week time frame, but on the week time frame, you can use say a 250 pip stop loss, and that gives the market plenty of room to move, and you get a break there of that low, and in our case, this low, and you get a 1,500 pip move on that. Your risk to reward ratio is amazing there, and it gives you the potential just to make a lot of money. So that's definitely something I'm looking at. This is on the pound Japanese yen pair. I don't know if this will happen. I kind of anticipate the carry trade coming back at some point, especially with the Japanese lowering their rates again, and with things kind of settling out to some degree in the credit market worldwide. As that strengthens, I think we'll see a return to the carry trade, and that we'll see this pair go back up. But have we hit that bottom yet? I don't know yet. But if we haven't, we could definitely see this pair move, and move strong throughout this next week. So that's definitely something to note and to keep an eye on, and we'll revisit this throughout the week. Now, looking ahead, we have the retail sales for the Australian dollar being released for September. The consensus is that it has moved from 0.6% to negative 0.5%, and that's being released at 7:30 p.m. today, Sunday. Moving ahead, though, we have the Australian Bank, or the Reserve Bank of Australia, releasing their rate decision tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. That's Eastern time, and the consensus is they're going to drop the rate from 6% down to 5.5%, or 5.50% from where it's at now, which would be a 50 basis point move in that particular interest rate. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.